Hi, I'm John Johnson, coming to you from the Fireside Gallery here at Gethsemane. Thanks for taking the time to view my exhibit of some of my watercolor paintings. My wife, Elaine, and I have been members of Gethsemane for over 50 years. In that time, I've been active in a number of volunteer areas, one of which includes the art committee, which I've been a member of for 20 years. I've always had an interest in art, drawing and painting in particular. When I was in high school, I thought I was going to be an architect. But unfortunately, in order to get an ROTC scholarship, I had to take a physical, and I couldn't cross my eyes, so that went out the window. But I attended Michigan Tech, got a degree in engineering physics, and attended the University of Minnesota, and got an MBA. After I finished that MBA, I thought, okay, let's do a little study of painting. So I went to the Minnetonka Community Ed and took a class in oil painting. And after several years, I came across an article in American Artist magazine. It was about a woman from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, my home area, who was a watercolor painter. And I was intrigued by her particular technique. And ultimately, I switched from oil painting to watercolors. I mentioned the article that I found in the American Artist magazine. It was about a woman by the name of Nita Engel. Turned out that she was from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. She lived only 15 miles away from my mother's home, my family home. And over the course of time, I managed to participate in 6 different workshops that she conducted. And if you were to see some of her work, I think you might find that there are some of the same techniques that are included in my paintings. One of the things that happened shortly thereafter was I changed jobs, and the new job began to involve a fair amount of travel. And I found that one way to pass time in the hotel room was to sketch. Eventually, I bought a watercolor set and a sketchbook, and I began to painting watercolors in my hotel room. And all of the paintings that are labeled as sketches are sort of what I'm going to call the Fairfield collection. This painting here, a sketch called Winter Creek Reflections, provides an excellent example of how the pigments merge together to form different color shades. And this is where the paper has been saturated and then the painting has actually been tipped side to side in order for the colors to merge together. In contrast, this is an attempt to copy another artist's style, one artist by the name of Tony Couch. So creative titling, it's called Tony Couch's Barn. This particular technique uses a lot of water. But one of the things that you want as the painter is the paper has to remain flat. So in order to achieve that, the preparation is first of all to soak the paper, typically 20 minutes to a half an hour. Then once the paper is saturated, I staple it to a piece of plywood and let it sit for probably a day or so before I actually start to paint. Then after that, when an area such as the water in this particular painting, the entire area of the painting would be sprayed with water using an old Windex bottle. Then once the paper is saturated, again it's 20 minutes or so, now I can apply the pigments, and virtually by tilting the board, I get the pigment to flow and they begin to intermingle and develop the various shades. Thanks for taking a few minutes to view this exhibit of my art here at the Fireside Gallery, Gethsemane Lutheran Church, Hopkins, Minnesota.